The day Earth changed forever started like any other. People went about their lives, unaware of the looming threat from the stars. In New York, Tokyo, and London, crowds rushed through busy streets. Farmers tended their fields under clear skies. It was a normal day, until it wasn't. At 2:17 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the first signs of trouble appeared. Radar operators worldwide noticed strange blips on their screens. These weren't normal aircraft or satellites. They moved too fast, too erratically. Within minutes, military bases around the globe went on high alert. Major Sarah Chen sat at her desk in the Pentagon, sipping her third coffee of the day. When the alarms blared, she spilled the hot liquid all over her uniform. Cursing, she sprinted to the war room. The scene that greeted her was chaos. "What's going on?" she demanded. General Thompson, his face ashen, pointed at the main screen. "We're under attack, Major, and not by any country on Earth." Sarah's jaw dropped as she watched the footage. Massive ships, unlike anything humans had built, descended from the skies. They were sleek, almost beautiful, with a metallic sheen that seemed to change colors. But their actions were far from peaceful. The first blast hit New York. A beam of intense light shot from one of the ships, cutting through skyscrapers like they were made of paper. The Statue of Liberty, a symbol of hope for generations, crumbled into the sea. Screams filled the air as people ran for cover. Similar scenes played out across the globe. London's Big Ben collapsed in a cloud of dust. The Great Wall of China, which had stood for centuries, was reduced to rubble in seconds. No landmark, no city was safe. In orbit, the International Space Station picked up a transmission. The message, broadcast in perfect English, chilled the astronauts to their bones. "Humans of Earth, you have been judged unworthy by the Galactic Council. Your planet is hereby scheduled for cleansing and repurposing. Resistance is futile." Back on the ground, world leaders scrambled to respond. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session, but what could they do against such advanced technology? Earth's most powerful weapons seemed like toys compared to the alien ships. In a small town in the American Midwest, teenager Mike Wilson watched the news with growing horror. His parents tried to calm him, but their voices shook with fear. Mike's little sister, Emma, clutched her teddy bear, not fully understanding why everyone was so scared. "Are we going to die?" Emma whispered. Mike hugged her tight. "No, Squirt. Humans are tougher than these aliens think. We'll find a way." As night fell, the situation grew dire. Communications were down in many areas. Power grids failed, plunging cities into darkness. Hospitals struggled to care for the wounded with limited resources. The alien ships continued their relentless assault, methodically destroying military bases and government buildings. But amidst the chaos, sparks of human resilience shone through. In Paris, strangers formed human chains to pull people from collapsed buildings. Brazilian soccer stadiums became makeshift shelters. Indian tech experts worked tirelessly to restore communications. In Japan, an elderly man named Hiroshi Tanaka refused to leave his home despite evacuation orders. "I survived Hiroshima," he told his neighbors. "I'll survive this too." His determination inspired others to stay strong. As the first day of the attack drew to a close, humanity stood on the brink. Millions were dead or missing. Great cities lay in ruins. The mightiest armies on Earth had barely scratched the alien ships. Yet, in underground bunkers and secret facilities around the world, a plan was taking shape. Scientists, soldiers, and leaders who had prepared for the worst were now humanity's last hope. They knew something the aliens didn't. Humans were at their most dangerous when backed into a corner. Major Sarah Chen, her uniform still stained with coffee, worked through the night with her team. As dawn broke, she allowed herself a grim smile. "We're not done yet," she muttered, looking at the plans spread before her. Not by a long shot. The Galactic Council had made a grave mistake. They thought Earth would be an easy conquest. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. Humanity was down, but not out. And when humans unite, even the stars themselves should tremble. As the sun rose on the second day of the alien invasion, the full extent of the damage became clear. Smoke rose from the ruins of once great cities. Millions were dead or missing. The world's most powerful militaries lay in shambles. But amid the destruction, a spark of hope began to grow. In the heart of Geneva, Switzerland, a secret meeting was underway. World leaders who had long been enemies now sat side by side, united by a common threat. The room was tense, filled with the low murmur of urgent conversations in dozens of languages. U.S. President Emily Harrison, her suit wrinkled from hours of crisis meetings, stood to address the room. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the dark circles under her eyes, "we face the greatest threat in human history. Our differences no longer matter. We must stand together, or we will fall alone." Russian President Andrei Volkov, normally a fierce opponent of the West, nodded in agreement. "For too long we have fought amongst ourselves," he said gruffly. "Now we must fight for our very existence." As the leaders debated strategy, scientists and military experts worked furiously in underground bunkers around the world. In a hidden facility beneath the Australian outback, Dr. Amelia Wong made a startling discovery. "It can't be," she whispered, staring at her computer screen. She double-checked her calculations, then ran to find her supervisor. Hours later, Dr. Wong stood before the gathered world leaders, her hand shaking slightly as she held her notes. "We've been keeping secrets," she began. "All of us. But now, those secrets might save us all." She revealed that for decades, nations had been secretly developing advanced technologies, preparing for a day they hoped would never come. The U.S. had anti-gravity engines. China had perfected cold fusion. India had cracked the code of quantum computing. As each country's hidden advancements were revealed, a mix of shock and hope spread through the room. President Harrison spoke up. "Alone, none of these technologies could save us. But together." The leaders looked at each other, centuries of mistrust melting away in the face of extinction. Japanese Prime Minister Tanaka Hideo stood, his face resolute. "We will share everything. Our knowledge, our resources, our strength. Earth stands as one." Meanwhile, in orbit, the crew of the International Space Station worked tirelessly to gather intelligence on the alien fleet. Commander Elena Rodriguez, using hastily upgraded sensors, made a crucial discovery. "Their ships," she reported back to Earth, her voice crackling over the secure channel. "They're not invincible. There's a weakness in their energy shielding, if we hit it just right." Back on the ground, in a makeshift command center in the ruins of Paris, Major Sarah Chen received the information. A plan began to form in her mind. It was risky, almost suicidal, but it might just work. As world leaders hammered out the details of their alliance, ordinary people around the globe were stepping up in extraordinary ways. In Brazil, farmers used their knowledge of the land to hide refugees from alien patrols. In Kenya, traditional healers worked alongside modern doctors to care for the wounded. In the streets of Mumbai, a young street artist named Rokul painted a mural on a crumbling wall. It showed people of all races and nationalities standing together, facing a starry sky. Above them, in bold letters, were the words, "United we stand." The mural went viral, shared millions of times in hours. It became a symbol of Earth's newfound unity, a rallying cry for resistance. As night fell on the second day, the alien ships continued their relentless assault. But something had changed. The people of Earth no longer cowered in fear. In homes and shelters, in the remains of cities, and in hidden bunkers, a new resolve took hold. In New York, Mike Wilson and his family huddled around a battery-powered radio, listening to President Harrison's address to the nation. "We will not go quietly into the night," the president declared, her voice fierce with determination. "We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive." Mike looked at his little sister Emma, who clutched her teddy bear tightly. "See, Squirt," he said with a smile. I told you we'd find a way." As the speech ended, cheers erupted from every corner of the globe. The Galactic Council had sought to divide and conquer. Instead, they had united humanity like never before. The fight for Earth was just beginning, and humanity was ready. In her underground command center, Major Sarah Chen looked at the plans spread before her. "All right, people," she said, her voice steady and determined. "Let's show these aliens what humans can do when we work together." The counterattack was about to begin. As the third day of the alien invasion dawned, the world held its breath. The Galactic Council's ships loomed ominously in the sky, their weapons poised to strike. But beneath the surface, humanity was far from defeated. In secret bases and hidden bunkers across the globe, Earth's greatest minds were putting the final touches on their plan. Deep in the Rocky Mountains, a massive steel door creaked open for the first time in decades. General Thompson stepped into the cavernous space, his flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. Behind him, Major Sarah Chen gasped in awe. "My God," she whispered. "It's all real." Before them stood row after row of sleek spacecraft, unlike anything the public had ever seen. These weren't the clunky shuttles of NASA or the Russian space program. These ships were built for war. "Project Prometheus," General Thompson said, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. "Started in the 1960s, continued in secret ever since. We always knew this day might come." Meanwhile, in a subterranean lab beneath the Sahara Desert, Dr. Amelia Wong worked feverishly on a holographic display. Her fingers danced across the controls as she fine-tuned the schematics for a weapon that, until yesterday, had been purely theoretical. "The quantum disruptor is almost ready," she reported via secure video link. "If it works, it should be able to penetrate the alien shields." Across the world, similar scenes played out. In Siberia, Russian scientists activated a long-dormant particle accelerator, powerful enough to tear holes in the fabric of space-time. In the Amazon rainforest, a hidden biogenetics facility prepared to unleash microscopic robots that could dismantle alien technology from the inside out. But it wasn't just the secret military projects that were being unveiled. Ordinary people were contributing in extraordinary ways. In a garage in suburban Tokyo, teenager Hiro Tanaka put the finishing touches on his homemade EMP device. It started as a science fair project, but now it might just save his neighborhood from the next alien attack. In the streets of Lagos, Nigeria, a group of hackers who once used their skills for petty crime now worked around the clock to crack the alien communication codes. Their leader, a young woman known only as Shadowcat, had rallied them with a simple message: "Today, we hack to save the world." As these preparations continued, the International Space Station, now transformed into a makeshift war room, received a transmission from the alien fleet. Commander Elena Rodriguez listened, her face grim. "They're demanding our surrender," she reported back to Earth. "They say they'll spare a small portion of humanity if we give up now." In the United Nations emergency bunker, world leaders received the news in stony silence. Then, President Emily Harrison stood up, her eyes flashing with determination. "Send them our answer," she said. "Earth does not surrender." As the message was relayed, activity in the hidden bases reached a fever pitch. In the Rocky Mountain facility, Major Sarah Chen climbed into the cockpit of one of the secret spacecraft. The controls lit up under her touch, responding to years of simulator training she hadn't even known was preparing her for this moment. "Sierra Squad, report in," she called over the comm. One by one, pilots around the world responded. Some were seasoned military veterans, others were civilian volunteers with nothing more than video game experience, but all were ready to fight for their planet. As the hidden hangar doors began to open, Sarah felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. This was humanity's first real counterstrike. The aliens were about to learn that Earth wasn't the easy target they thought it was. In New York, Mike Wilson watched the sky with his family. Suddenly, he saw something that made his heart leap. A streak of light, too fast and agile to be an alien ship, shot upwards towards the invading fleet. "Look," he shouted, pointing. More streaks followed, dozens, then hundreds. All over the world, people emerged from shelters to witness the spectacle. Earth's hidden arsenal was revealing itself at last. Cheers erupted from every corner of the globe as humanity's secret fleet engaged the enemy for the first time. In her spacecraft, Major Sarah Chen took a deep breath as she approached the alien ships. "All right, Earth," she muttered. "Let's show them what we've got." The battle for Earth's survival was truly beginning. The Galactic Council had awakened a sleeping giant, and now they would face the full fury of a united human race, armed with technology they never knew existed. As the first shots were fired in orbit, Dr. Amelia Wong activated the quantum disruptor. A pulse of energy, invisible but powerful, swept across the planet. For a moment, everything seemed to hold its breath. Then, one by one, the alien ships began to falter. The hidden arsenal was working. Earth's counterattack had begun. The sky above Earth had become a battlefield. Humanity's hidden fleet, now revealed, clashed with the alien armada in a dazzling display of light and energy. From the ground, it looked like a new constellation had formed, bright flashes marking the strikes and counterstrikes of this epic space battle. Major Sarah Chen gripped her controls tightly as she led Sierra Squad into the heart of the conflict. Her sleek, black spacecraft darted between lumbering alien cruisers, its advanced stealth technology making it nearly invisible to enemy sensors. "Sierra Squad, form up," she commanded. "Remember your training. Hit them hard and fast." The squad acknowledged, falling into formation behind her. They were a diverse group: American, Russian, Chinese, Nigerian, Brazilian, but they moved as one, united in purpose. As they approached their first target, a massive alien battleship, Sarah's co-pilot, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, called out, "Quantum disruptor at full charge, Major." Sarah nodded grimly. Fire. A pulse of energy, invisible to the naked eye, but devastatingly powerful, shot from their ship. It struck the alien vessel, causing its shields to flicker and fail. Cheers erupted over the comms as Sierra Squad opened fire, their advanced weapons tearing into the now vulnerable alien ship. Back on Earth, in the underground command center, General Thompson watched the battle unfold on massive holographic displays. Beside him, President Harrison and other world leaders observed in tense silence. "It's working," General Thompson said, a note of awe in his voice. "We're actually hurting them." President Harrison allowed herself a small smile. "The tide is turning," she said, "but this is just the beginning." Indeed, while humanity had surprised the aliens with their hidden technology, the Galactic Council's forces were vast and powerful. For every alien ship disabled or destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place. In orbit, Commander Elena Rodriguez coordinated the defense of the International Space Station, now a crucial command post. "We've got incoming," she shouted as a swarm of alien fighters approached. But before the aliens could attack, a squadron of Earth fighters intercepted them. Leading the charge was an unlikely hero, Hiro Tanaka, the teenage inventor from Tokyo. His homemade EMP device, now integrated into a fighter jet, proved devastatingly effective against the alien craft. "Woohoo!" Hiro shouted as he took down his 3rd alien fighter. "This is way better than any video game." On the ground, the battle was equally fierce. In the ruins of Paris, French resistance fighters, led by Captain Marie Durand, used guerrilla tactics to ambush alien ground forces. They were aided by the microscopic robots developed in the Amazon, which infiltrated and disabled alien weaponry. For Earth and France, Marie cried as she led a daring raid on an alien command post. Meanwhile, in cyberspace, Shadowcat and her team of hackers launched a relentless assault on alien communications. Their fingers flew over keyboards, their faces illuminated by screen glow as they worked to disrupt enemy coordination. "I'm in their mainframe," Shadowcat announced, her voice tight with concentration. uploading the virus. Now, across the alien fleet, ships suddenly lost contact with each other. Confusion spread through their ranks, hampering their ability to mount an effective defense against Earth's forces. As the battle raged on, Dr. Amelia Wong made a startling discovery in her subterranean lab. Analyzing data from the quantum disruptor, she realized something that could change the course of the war. The alien ships, she said, her voice shaking with excitement as she reported to the command center. They're not just damaged by the disruptor. They're changing. At a molecular level, if we can amplify the effect. General Thompson leaned forward, his eyes wide. You mean we could potentially? Dr. Wong nodded. Convert their own ships into weapons against them. Yes. As this news spread, a new sense of hope surged through Earth's defenders. In New York, Mike Wilson and his family emerged from their shelter to see alien ships falling from the sky, trailing smoke and fire. See, Emma, Mike said to his little sister, pointing at the sky. I told you humans were tough. Emma smiled, clutching her teddy bear. Are we winning, Mike? Mike watched as another alien ship plummeted to Earth, brought down by the combined efforts of humanity's finest. You know what, Squirt? I think we just might be. In her spacecraft, Major Sarah Chen allowed herself a moment of cautious optimism as she led Sierra Squad on another attack run. Earth had bloodied the nose of the mighty Galactic Council. The counterattack was succeeding beyond their wildest hopes. But the battle was far from over. As Sarah squared up against another alien battleship, she knew that the hardest fight was yet to come. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, and humanity would need every ounce of courage, ingenuity, and unity to survive. All right, Sierra Squad, she said, her voice steady and determined. Let's show these aliens what humans are really made of. For Earth. The response came back, a chorus of voices united in purpose. For Earth. And with that, they plunged once more into the fray, carrying with them the hopes and dreams of all humanity. Light years away from Earth, in a vast chamber adorned with the symbols of 1,000 worlds, the Galactic Council was in chaos. The massive holographic display at the center of the room showed the unthinkable. Their invasion fleet was being decimated by the very species they had dismissed as primitive. High Counselor Zixnax, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multiple eyes, slammed a clawed hand on the table. Impossible, he roared. How could these humans possess such technology? Around him, representatives from various alien races argued loudly. Some demanded immediate reinforcements be sent to crush the human resistance. Others called for a full retreat. Amidst the cacophony, a small gray-skinned alien with large dark eyes stood up. This was Ilo, representative of the Zeta Reticulans, known for their wisdom and foresight. We have gravely underestimated the humans, Ilo said, his soft voice somehow cutting through the noise. Our arrogance has led us to this disaster. Back on Earth, the battle raged on. Major Sarah Chen led her Sierra Squad in a daring attack on the alien fleet's flagship. Her spacecraft weaved through a hail of energy blasts, each near miss making her heart race. Sierra Squad, on my mark, she called out. 3, 2, 1. Now. As one, the squad fired their quantum disruptors. The massive alien ship shields flickered and failed. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. All units, concentrate fire on their main reactor. In the ruins of Moscow, Captain Alexei Volkov led a group of survivors in a guerrilla attack against alien ground forces. They used a combination of traditional weapons and the newly developed nanobot swarms. For Earth, Alexei shouted as he threw a grenade. The explosion was followed by a cloud of microscopic robots that swarmed over the alien troops, disabling their equipment. Meanwhile, in her underground lab, Dr. Amelia Wong made a breakthrough. She had found a way to amplify the quantum disruptor's effect, potentially turning the aliens' own ships against them. It's ready, she said, her voice trembling with excitement and exhaustion. But we'll need to get this device close to their main fleet to activate it. In orbit, Commander Elena Rodriguez received the news. She knew this could be the key to victory, but it would require a dangerous mission. "I'll do it," she volunteered. "I'll take the device to the heart of their fleet." Back in the Galactic Council chamber, the debate had turned ugly. Accusations flew as the different factions blamed each other for the failure of the invasion. "You assured us their defenses were negligible," snarled Krazak, the warrior representative of the Orient cartel. "Our intelligence was sound," retorted Mina of the Pleiadian Confederation. "It's your military strategy that's flawed." As the argument escalated, Ilum noticed something on the holographic display. The humans were not just defending their world. They were pushing back, taking the fight to the invasion fleet. "Look," Ilo called out, pointing at the display. "The humans. They're boarding our ships." Indeed, Earth's forces had launched a daring operation. Led by the newly promoted Colonel Sarah Chen, human troops were using their advanced technology to infiltrate key alien vessels. On the flagship of the alien fleet, Sarah and her team fought their way to the bridge. The alien crew, so confident in their superiority, were caught off guard by the ferocity and skill of the human attackers. "Surrender now," Sarah demanded as she burst onto the bridge, her weapon trained on the alien captain. The alien, a hulking creature with multiple limbs, looked at her with a mixture of fear and respect. "How?" it asked. "How did you defeat our technology?" Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "You thought technology was everything. But you forgot about human spirit, our will to survive, our ability to unite in the face of a common threat." As this scene played out across the fleet, Commander Elena Rodriguez piloted her ship, carrying Dr. Wong's amplified quantum disruptor, towards the heart of the alien armada. "Almost there," she muttered, dodging enemy fire. With a final burst of speed, she reached her target and activated the device. A wave of energy pulsed out, washing over the alien ships. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, one by one, the massive vessels began to power down, their own technology turned against them. In the Galactic Council chamber, stunned silence fell as they watched their mighty fleet defeated by a species they had considered insignificant. High Counselor Zixnax slumped in his seat. "It's over," he said, his voice hollow. "We've lost." Ilo stood up, his large eyes filled with a mixture of awe and hope. "No," he said, "we haven't lost. We've discovered something extraordinary, a species worthy of joining the galactic community. Perhaps it's time we opened a dialogue with these remarkable humans." As the council murmured in agreement, back on Earth, cheers erupted as news of the victory spread. In New York, Mike hugged his sister Emma tightly. "We did it, Squirt," he said, tears in his eyes. "We saved our world." Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged victorious. But as the celebrations began, they knew this was not the end, but a new beginning. Earth was now part of a larger universe, ready to take its place among the stars. The Earth hung in space, a blue marble scarred by battle but unbroken. Around it, the remnants of the once mighty alien fleet drifted powerless, their crews in disarray. But the war was not over yet. Deep in space, a massive ship emerged from hyperspace, the Galactic Council's ultimate weapon, sent as a last resort. In the White House war room, now relocated to an underground bunker, President Emily Harrison received the news with grim determination. "So they're not giving up without a fight," she said, her voice steady despite the dark circles under her eyes. General Thompson nodded, pointing to a holographic display. "This ship is unlike anything we've faced so far. It's got enough firepower to glass half the planet." Dr. Amelia Wong, her lab coat stained with coffee and sweat from days of nonstop work, spoke up. "Our quantum disruptor won't work on it. They've adapted their shields." A heavy silence fell over the room. Then a voice crackled over the comm system. "This is Colonel Chen. Sierra Squad is ready for action." Just point us at the target." President Harrison straightened her back, a fierce light in her eyes. "Then let's take the fight to them, one last time." Across the globe, humanity prepared for the final battle. In London, Captain James Blake led a team loading experimental weapons onto a fleet of retrofitted civilian spacecraft. "Come on, lads," he shouted, his Cockney accent thick with emotion. "Let's show these aliens what Earth is made of." In Beijing, Dr. Lai Mai put the finishing touches on a swarm of advanced AI-driven nanobots. "These will infiltrate their systems," she explained to the waiting pilots, "and turn their own ship against them." Meanwhile, in orbit, Commander Elena Rodriguez coordinated Earth's defenses from the International Space Station. "All units, be advised," she called out. "Enemy superweapon approaching. This is not a drill." As the alien supership drew near, it broadcast a message to Earth. The face of High Counselor Zixnax appeared on screens worldwide. "Humans," he snarled, his multiple eyes glowing with rage. "You have defied the will of the Galactic Council. Surrender now, or face total annihilation." In New York, Mike Wilson watched the broadcast with his family. His little sister, Emma, clutched her teddy bear tightly. "Are they going to kill us all, Mike?" she whispered. Mike hugged her close. "No way, squirt. Remember, humans don't give up. We've got one more trick up our sleeve." Indeed, as the alien ship prepared to fire its main weapon, Earth's last desperate plan swung into action. Colonel Sarah Chen led Sierra Squad in a daring attack run, drawing the enemy's fire. "Now, everyone," she shouted into her comm, "give it everything you've got." From every direction, Earth's remaining ships attacked. They were a motley crew, sleek military craft flying alongside converted passenger jets and even a few private yachts. But they all had one thing in common: the unbreakable human spirit. As the battle raged, Captain James Blake's team deployed their secret weapon. "Bombs away," he yelled as they released thousands of Dr. Lee's nanobots into the alien ship's exhaust vents. Inside the massive vessel, alarms blared as systems began to fail. High Counselor Zixnax raged at his crew. "What's happening? Fix it now." But it was too late. The nanobots spread through the ship like a virus, turning its own technology against it. Weapons powered down, shields flickered, and engines sputtered. Seeing their chance, Colonel Chen led a final all-out assault. "For Earth," she cried, and a chorus of voices echoed her across all channels as humanity's fleet gave it their all. The alien supership, once so mighty, now hung helpless in space, its hull breached in 1,000 places, atmosphere venting in glittering plumes against the star-filled backdrop. In a last, desperate move, High Counselor Zixnax tried to activate the ship's self-destruct sequence, but as he reached for the controls, he found himself face to face with a hologram of Dr. Amelia Wong. "I wouldn't do that if I were you," she said, a hint of a smile on her tired face. "We've taken control of all your systems. It's over." As the news of victory spread, celebrations erupted across the Earth. In every city, town, and village, people poured into the streets, hugging strangers and cheering at the sky. In the White House bunker, President Harrison allowed herself a moment of pure joy before turning to the tasks ahead. "Get me a channel to their ship," she said. "It's time we had a talk with the Galactic Council." As Earth prepared to take its place on the galactic stage, Colonel Sarah Chen looked out at the stars from her cockpit. They no longer seemed cold and threatening, but full of promise and adventure. "Well done, everyone," she said to her team, her voice thick with emotion. "We've earned our place among the stars." The final showdown was over. Earth had faced its greatest challenge and emerged victorious. Now, a new chapter in human history was about to begin, one that would take them beyond their wildest dreams. 1 year had passed since Earth's victory over the Galactic Council. The planet, once a hidden backwater in the cosmic ocean, now stood at the center of a new era of interstellar politics and cooperation. In the newly constructed United Earth Spaceport outside of Geneva, President Emily Harrison adjusted her suit as she prepared to greet the first official delegation from the reformed Galactic Council. She turned to Colonel Sarah Chen, now head of Earth's Space Defense Force, and smiled. "Ready to make history, Colonel?" Sarah nodded, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Born ready, Madam President." As they walked onto the landing pad, a sleek silver ship descended from the sky. Its design was alien, yet somehow familiar, a blend of extraterrestrial technology and human aesthetics. The ship's hull bore the new symbol of the Galactic Council, a spiral galaxy with Earth prominently marked. The ship's doors opened, and out stepped Ilo, the Zeta Reticulan who had advocated for peace during the war. Behind him came representatives from a dozen alien races, their diverse forms a testament to the vastness of life in the universe. "Welcome to Earth," President Harrison said, extending her hand in the human gesture of greeting that had now become a galactic standard. Ilo took her hand, his large eyes blinking with emotion. "Thank you, President Harrison. On behalf of the new Galactic Council, we come in peace and friendship." As the delegation moved inside for formal talks, news crews from around the world broadcasted the event live. In New York, Mike Wilson watched the screen with his family, his arm around his little sister Emma. "See, Squirt," he said, grinning. "I told you humans could do anything." Emma nodded, her eyes wide with wonder. "Do you think I could visit alien planets someday, Mike?" "I bet you could even be an ambassador if you wanted," he replied, ruffling her hair. Across the globe, humanity celebrated this new chapter in their history. In Lagos, Nigeria, Shadowcat and her team of hackers have become the leading experts in integrating alien and human computer systems. They were currently working on a universal translation algorithm that would revolutionize interspecies communication. In Tokyo, Hiro Tanaka, the teenage inventor turned global hero, unveiled his latest creation, a personal force field device based on reverse-engineered alien technology. "This will protect our construction workers as we rebuild," he explained to an eager crowd. Meanwhile, in orbit, Commander Elena Rodriguez supervised the construction of Earth's first faster-than-light spaceship. The vessel, named Unity, incorporated the best of human ingenuity and alien science. To think, she mused to her second-in-command, "A year ago, we were fighting for our very existence. Now we're preparing to explore the galaxy." Back at the spaceport, the talks were proceeding well. President Harrison and Ilo signed a historic treaty, officially recognizing Earth as a full member of the galactic community. "This is not just a victory for Earth," Harrison announced to the assembled delegates and the watching world. "This is a victory for unity, for diversity, for the indomitable spirit that all sentient beings share." As applause filled the chamber, Dr. Amelia Wong approached the podium. Over the past year, she had become Earth's leading expert in xenobiology and alien cultures. "We have much to learn from our new allies," she said, "but we also have much to teach. Our resilience, our creativity, our ability to unite in the face of overwhelming odds, these are the gifts humanity brings to the stars." The aftermath of the war had not been without challenges. There were still those among both humans and aliens who distrusted the new alliance. Rebuilding Earth's devastated cities would take years. But with each passing day, the wounds of the past healed a little more. In the Australian outback, a joint human-alien team worked to establish a new quantum communication array. An Aboriginal elder, watching the aliens work alongside human scientists, nodded approvingly. "The Dreamtime speaks of star people," he said to a young alien scientist. "Perhaps it was you it spoke of all along." As night fell across the planet, millions looked up at the stars with new eyes. The sky was no longer a distant, unreachable realm, but a sea of possibilities. Human ships were already venturing out, exploring nearby star systems, making peaceful first contact with new civilizations. In her office in Geneva, President Harrison stood by the window, gazing at the starry sky. Colonel Chen joined her, holding 2 glasses of champagne. "To the future," Sarah offered, handing the president a glass. Emily took it with a smile. "To humanity," she replied, "and to all the wonders we have yet to discover." As they clinked glasses, a shooting star streaked across the sky. Not a natural phenomenon, but a ship jumping to faster than light speed, carrying human explorers to distant worlds. Earth had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The Galactic Council's attempt to conquer humanity had instead unleashed its greatest potential. Now, as equal partners in a vast, diverse galactic community, the human race looked to the future with hope, determination, and an unquenchable thirst for discovery. The stars, once so distant, now beckoned, and humanity, united and unbroken, was ready to answer their call.